Welcome everyone. I think we have a few more people coming, but they'll join us as our afternoon proceeds. So my name's Associate Professor Kylie Shaw. I'm the Interim Dean of Graduate Research, and it brings me great pleasure to welcome you here today. We have here with us a number of our contestants in person. We are also Zooming some of our finalists in, and we're also live streaming. So what could go wrong? So welcome to those people who are joining us on the live stream as well. Firstly, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. So as we meet here at the Callaghan campus, I would like to acknowledge the Pambalong clan of the Awabakal people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, and pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. So we're all here today for one purpose, which is to celebrate the finals of the 3-minute thesis. So I think we should put a round of applause for those that are here with us today, to everyone for getting to this point. We can always feel the energy in the room as we wait to hear who our finalists are today. A very special welcome to our Vice Chancellor and President, Professor Alex Zingsey, who's here with us today, and Professor Janet Nielsen, our Deputy Vice Chancellor Research and Innovation and Vice President, who are here in person to celebrate this fantastic occasion here at the finals. So, it all sounds simple, but as each of the finalists here with us today will know, and no doubt attest to, distilling a very complex research project into 3 minutes is quite the challenge. I remember being a doctoral student myself, and at that time the 3-minute thesis competition actually started. It started as an idea at one university and really took off, and now we have the 3-minute thesis across Australia and across the world, and it's certainly a very exciting competition to be part of, but also part of those skills that we want our doctoral students to develop in terms of distilling the research. And this year in particular, I'm very excited because we've been able to take up the challenge through our COVID restrictions that we have with us to actually get this 3-minute thesis online. And I think anyone who's watched the videos will be very excited at the finished product that we were able to achieve with those videos. And hopefully they'll be a good portfolio item for our 3-minute thesis finalists as well. You'll be able to have that and take that with you into your careers as you continue. Very excited to hear today one of our contestants has already sent it back to her home country to her sponsors, and they're absolutely thrilled that she's a finalist here today, and perhaps are watching our live stream from Bangladesh. Sapia? Yeah. So we're looking forward to hearing some of the other stories from our finalists today and how you're making the most of this opportunity. Thank you also to Kai Smith, who's our production assistant for the videos and putting them together, and for live streaming here today. And also a special mention to Hugh Milligan, who's our student rep, who amongst us was able to spend some time with Hugh to do some prep for the 3-minute thesis. He puts a lot of time and energy into that, so we just wanted to thank him today, and also to the schools and to the faculties, to the supervisors who provide the support for our candidates and have supported them to get here today. A special thank you to the graduate research team who have spent a lot of time trying to work out how to put today on in a socially distanced way. So many apologies for those who love to mingle and for those who I haven't shaked hands with because we've got the rules here on the campus that we're adhering to. And we'll give reminders during the afternoon of some of those restrictions that we have. So, the what, the how and the why of the 3-minute thesis. So the what is that the HDR candidates tell us about their research, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. The how is they only have 3 minutes They have one PowerPoint slide and no other props, and that slide can be used however they want through that presentation. And those that have seen the presentations would see that they've used it effectively in different ways in that 3 minutes, which was great to see. The why is to promote or showcase the excellent, innovative and exciting research being done by HDR candidates at the University of Newcastle. And I think we can agree that there was a wide range of topics, and very exciting to see candidates from all across their journey presenting. So we had some who have not yet confirmed to someone who's submitted. So we've really, here in the finals, got a range of students and their experience. And because it's fun, because who doesn't want to give a 3-minute talk on their research if you get stuck in that elevator and you need to wow someone from industry. So, the prizes. I'm sure not many people are here just for the prizes, because you're doing it just for the joy of communicating your research. But we do have prizes, and we are very proud to have our sponsor Unibank to provide that and to be really involved in the thesis judging. And I think Ria is here with us on Zoom as well, Christy. So we thank them for their sponsorship. The winner will receive $5,000 for research expenses, opportunity to present for the University of Newcastle at the Asia Pacific competition at the University of Queensland on the 1st of October. They too are going to have an online competition, but really excited to have that representation. The runner-up, $2,000, third place, $1,000, and the People's Choice Award, $250 for research expenses. So, how is it judged? I know you all know what the criteria is, because you had that in mind as you were doing your presentations. But when the judges are looking at those final presentations, they're looking at comprehension and content, and engagement and communication. So it's not just about being able to stand up and communicate effectively, it's also about being able to tell someone who you meet in the street about your research in information and using language that they understand, and being able to communicate not just what it's about, but also some of the results and conclusions if you've got that far. So we look at the thesis topic, the key results, the significance of the research, and really try and understand what your project's going to contribute to not just your discipline, but to the world, and the impact that it's going to have. So the judging panel for this year included Dave Fleming from Innovation Connections, CSIRO, who is on Zoom, if you can see him. Can you hear us, Dave, and give us a thumbs up or a wave? I'm sure he will soon. He might be waiting for his introduction. I'll do an introduction. So Dave is an SME innovation facilitator for the Newcastle, Hunter and Central Coast region of New South Wales, and an alumnus of our university. His role is to connect local companies and the technical expertise and state-of-the-art equipment available from research organisations. And these connections then lead to collaborative projects to help companies develop their commercial innovations and the support of the research organisation. So I think you can all agree that even having him watch your thesis presentations is a great opportunity for you. That's a little hint to maybe follow up with him afterwards, now that he knows your name. We also have Mike Lansing, General Manager of Unibank. Mike is a very experienced judge. He's the General Manager of Unibank. He has substantial experience across both mutual and listed banking institutions, having worked in senior business development roles including AMP, Bank West and Australian Military Bank. Mike is an alumni of the Sydney University. Unfortunately, he's not able to join us today, but he sends his best regards. Is he there? Oh. Right. Well, that was either Dave on delay or a surprise welcome to Mike, who said he would try and join if he could. So we really appreciate both those judges judging the 3-minute thesis. And I'll say it again just to remind you that they've now seen your research and seen your work, and hopefully you are looking of how to connect with industry and how to connect with people who might be interested in the ideas that you have. And so following up might be a great way just to progress that opportunity. All right. Now I have the great pleasure to welcome our keynote today. I said maybe she wants to talk for 3 minutes, but she might talk for a bit longer than that. It brings me great pleasure to just tell you a little bit about Janet. Professor Janet Nelson is the Deputy Vice Chancellor. I've already introduced her. Her responsibilities are for the diverse and comprehensive research enterprise and acts as the university's Chief Research Officer. So Janet has a wide range of responsibilities and portfolio in the university. It's really driving research within our institution. She holds a PhD in chemistry from the California Institute of Technology and a BA in chemistry from Carleton College, Minnesota. She previously held the position of Vice President for Research and Economic Development at the University of Idaho. And prior to this, she was the Associate Vice Chancellor of Research Development at the University of Tennessee, and earlier, the Director of Business Development for the URS Corporation and a Director at Biotechnology Industry Organization in Washington, D.C. She is a demonstrated leader with direct career experiences across academia, government, not-for-profit organizations, and industrial communities. She also has technical experience ranging from catalyst and energy research to biomedical research and enabling technology development. So hopefully you're very impressed by now, and I'm looking forward to her address. So please welcome her to speak to us today.
Thanks, Kylie. Can you hear me? Is this on? Great. Welcome. I'm just really delighted to be here today. It's a great honor to be able to I think give my first formal address at the University of Newcastle, and what better group to do it for than our wonderful students that are doing fantastic research. I want to warmly congratulate all of you as finalists in this 3 minutes thesis. This is just a delightful day. I remember the last time I gave a similar address. I was at the Egyptian Theater in Boise, Idaho, with a cohort of the Idaho students, and so it really is a global event that's happening worldwide. And so it's a real skill that is going to be to your advantage through your life to really distill your work into 3 minutes. I know that that's quite a bit of work, and there's a couple aspects of it that are going to follow through. That ability to take your work into a plain language that others can understand. I remember being in graduate school, and one of the things my thesis advisor said is, my grandfather needed to understand my research. And he was a cattle rancher in Montana, and I guarantee he did understand my research. And his patience was about 3 minutes, so I probably had about that much with him before I got off the horse and roped up the cow. But you also need to be able to address diverse audiences, whether it's plain language or not, because we're a community that's really made of a diverse audience. You'll see that in some of the presentations today. I do want to talk briefly about our COVID environment here, because I think you all have really raised yourself to the challenges that have been posed by a lot of the restrictions. In fact, I wonder if any of you in the audience are actually a little relieved that you might not have to come up here and do a live presentation. But so there are some interesting outcomes from this challenge, and I'm actually reminded of a presentation recently given by Professor John Fischetti during our Looking Ahead lecture series, when he talked about the paradox of the pandemic. And in terms of a silver lining, we have an opportunity today to have our competition much more accessible to those who couldn't actually be here. So there are some ways that we're adapting to this. But really, as a university, we really are here to raise ourselves up to the challenge of these global challenges. And COVID is just one of these wicked problems around energy, around around climate change, around food shortages, around socioeconomic disparities. And what we are doing here at the university is we're really encouraging you, as this next generation of researchers, to think and work differently than has been done. And I'm really, really proud of how our group community has responded to the COVID crisis and come up with nimble results and pivoted their research. And this is just one example of the type of work that we are going to need to do as a community. We need to partner with the universities, with industry, with our community, with our policymakers and legislators, and come together cross parties to really deliver innovative solutions to local and global problems. So I can see from your work that you have already been doing this. I was delighted to see the 15 topics, and the breadth of work as finalists. And what's really amazing is that these projects are excellent demonstrations of our new strategic plan looking ahead. It must be that you knew what our Vice Chancellor was thinking and went and picked thesis topics years ago to line up with helping us to live better, healthier lives, tackling energy resources, building connected communities, and working with industries, because I think all of your projects can be wonderful examples in these areas. They echo the important topics that our community is facing and our industry is facing and that you are facing. So I do want to end by saying, again, thank you so much. I place great honor in being here to be involved with you as higher degree research students. You've entrusted this part of your education to us, your mentors, your faculty, your administrators, your parents, and I hope that we're not letting you down and that we're poising you, we're fueling your passion for inquiry, and that you'll continue with the collaborations and connections that you've made today. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Janet. So that brings us to the most important part of our ceremony today, and that's to recognise our finalists, who are some with us in the room and some on Zoom. So I think it might be nice if everyone were to stand up so we could recognise our finalists today. And if you're on Zoom, if you can give us a wave. We won't see you on the live stream, but the Vice Chancellor is sitting right in front of you. So it's a good opportunity. So congratulations for getting here. Let's give them a round of applause. We would have liked to have had the conservatorium and the big hall full of people like we did last year, but certainly it's just such a pleasure to have you here, have you on Zoom, and to recognise this great achievement. So congratulations. All right, there is an air of excitement as we now move to our announcement of the winners. Gareth is going to come and assist me. Next one. Here is the moment you've been waiting for. Do we do a drum roll? Excellent. We're going to announce the winners in order of People's Choice Award, then third place, then second place, and then first place. For each announcement, we're going to play the video presentation. And then after that, we're going to ask the winner to come up the front, and the Vice Chancellor will do a socially distanced presentation of the cheque, and we'll get a photo of you. So thanks for bearing with us if you're on live stream while we do that. All right. So, the People's Choice Award. The internet was running hot yesterday. I'm sure the IT department had trouble keeping up with the activity that was happening. We received well over 4,000 votes for this award category. So that is pretty impressive. So our winners, People's Choice winner is Sabia Matan.
events like FIFA and World Cup have been using as an urban policy agenda. Apart from bringing international tourists to the destination, these events also help to promote their country trade and country image. Although mega events require huge infrastructure, cutting-edge technology, and huge investment, which are obtainable and manageable for developed countries because they already have that experience and infrastructure. But hosting mega events are risky and unreasonable plan for other countries who have limited budget and who don't want to spend their public sector money on projects on new infrastructure and facilities. Instead, they're willing to pay their money on projects which really can bring long-term benefits. So what's the solution if a country wants to promote their country image, bring more international tourists, and foster their international trade without investing big? That's what I'm going to find. An alternative way of promoting country image, attracting foreign tourists and foreign investments without investing on new infrastructure. See, apart from hosting mega events, there are other renowned business events like trade shows and exhibitions where international business delegates from around the world, they come to the destination just to attend the event. And these delegates otherwise wouldn't have come to the destination. Apart from experiencing the event, they also experience the destination like hotels or restaurants. And that's when we can convey the message of inviting them over to return to the destination as a tourist or as an investor. They are business delegates, so why not taking the chance of showing the investment environment while they are already at the destination? There are two parties involved in there. Event organizers who want business delegates to come to the destination, therefore to promote the event, and they're the government who want to promote their destination. And if these two parties' strategic goal merges into one, we can optimize the benefits of hosting such events. We can convert these business delegates to foreign ambassador, foreign investors, and foreign tourists. And to convert them, we need to give them such memorable experience both at the event and at the destination. Therefore, my research will study or investigate what are the attributes that are important in stimulating the behavior of these business delegates to return to the destination and to invest in here. And therefore, we will design those attributes only instead of investing on everything. I believe my research will give those countries a hope of promoting their destination, which is not possible otherwise, and to optimize the benefits of hosting such events and without a big investment. Thank you.
There we go. Congratulations, well done. So, should get in front of the poster or something.
Yeah.
Get a good corporate. Congratulations. Well done.
Another round of applause.
Yeah.
All right, third place. Jared Sansom. Facebook Awards, you're either with us or against us.
Have you ever seen that meme that says, when you only think about a product in your head and Facebook shows you an advertisement for it? Maybe you've looked up Dyson vacuum cleaners on Google and then 10 minutes later a V11 Outsize Pro pops up on your newsfeed. It's those pesky algorithms. They learn from your behaviour and then deliver what appears to be irrelevance to you. Now, you might think, it's not a big deal, maybe a little creepy, but it's just Facebook's way of marketing. But here's the thing. While Facebook is a marketing platform in some respects, it is also a social space and a news source. So this algorithmic system not only affects our consumer decisions, it also influences who we do and don't interact with, as well as the information we do and don't receive. It has been argued that the alternative reality and culture that Facebook offers distort people's perceptions of reality, numb critical viewpoints, and only expose users to like-minded individuals. These are the fundamental concerns that sparked my research journey. As an honours student, I used cultivation theory to explore Facebook users' perceptions of Muslims in Australia. Cultivation theory suggests that exposure to a certain form of media over time shapes the way that social reality is perceived by individuals and ultimately our society as a whole. Here's what I found. Facebook content, if consumed subconsciously or in the absence of critical thinking, can cultivate one-sided perceptions on contentious social issues. This can result in us against them attitudes between groups who think differently on such issues. The hostility shown between the Facebook users I interviewed was mostly on the grounds of competing political ideologies. I've commenced a PhD to explore this division further. My current project focuses on the climate change debate in Australia. To conduct this research, I'll be analysing Facebook users' comments on two opposing community pages, Australian Climate Madness and Extinction Rebellion Australia. This will be supported by in-depth interviews with followers from each page. I'll explore their predispositions, patterns of Facebook use, perceptions of climate change, and personal experiences with the debate online. This will offer rich data, allowing me to determine how and to what extent Facebook use cultivates us against them attitudes among groups who think differently about climate change. Since social media is a primary medium of communication, it is not unreasonable to suggest that environments of increasing hostility between social groups on Facebook may promote an us against them structuring of society. So don't underestimate that Dyson vacuum cleaner ad on your newsfeed, because it goes a lot deeper than that. Once I have my findings, I hope to educate the general public on the patterns of Facebook use that typically cultivate one-sided perceptions. With this knowledge, people should have the agency to break free from their subconscious habits and avoid the effects of echo chambers and political polarisation. You, my audience, have a head start. It's up to you what you do with it.
That's pretty good. Take this down to the bank. Congratulations. I'm going to get one in front of the
Sarah.
Can we get in front of the logo or something? Corporate. When do you finish this? Oh, well, yeah, well done. What are you, first year or second?
Yeah, I'm 6 months in.
6 months in? Oh, great.
Yeah,
I'd like to
so-
look forward to results.
Second place goes to, I don't know, I feel we need a Jessica Madden, a genetic approach to understanding chronic pain.
I want you to think about the last time you experienced pain and how long it lasted. A few hours, maybe a few days. Now imagine that pain lasting for 6 months and you're just starting to scratch the surface of what it's like to be a sufferer of chronic pain. In 2018, more than 3.2 million Australians and up to 20% of the world's population suffered from some form of chronic pain, and those numbers have only gone up. It considerably reduces quality of life and the ability to work, imposing a huge emotional and economic burden on both the individual and society. And the current treatment options are completely inadequate, with traditional pain therapies providing little relief. And alarmingly, the gold standard of pain treatment today remains opioids, and our reliance on these drugs, with all their side effects and links to addiction, highlight the slow progress we've made in this field. So what's the holdup? We understand that pain is experienced when special receptors in our bodies are activated, relaying a signal through the spinal cord to the brain. And we've also come to understand there are special nerve cells in the spinal cord that have the ability to magnify or quieten down these pain signals before they reach the brain. The prevailing thought is that since sometimes chronic pain can present with no actual tissue damage, such as phantom limb pain after an amputation, that these nerve cells are likely important for the sensation of chronic pain. This makes them and the spinal cord an exciting frontier in pain research. The challenge, though? The spinal cord contains lots of different types of nerve cells, and to be able to study them and understand their roles in the pain pathway, we must first be able to identify them. And how we identify them is an evolving process. There have been numerous attempts to classify these nerve cells into different groups based on their cell shape, their expression of different proteins, and their responses to stimuli. But so far, none of these studies have been able to reach a consensus. I believe it's because they're focused on one characteristic at a time. It's like mixing a bowl of M&Ms and Skittles and expecting to separate them based on colour alone. I strongly believe the future of pain research lies in considering all the characteristics of these nerve cells through the examination of their genetic material. Like our hair or eye colour, the characteristics of these nerve cells is written into their genes. So the aim of my PhD is to use this information to finally determine how these discrete populations of nerve cells group together and what their role is in the development of chronic pain. And I'm doing this through the analysis of genetic sequencing, compiled from millions of data points from labs around the world, bridging the gap left behind by previous technologies and providing new insights and hopefully new targets for future pain research. By refining our ability to identify and target these nerve cells, we will undoubtedly improve our understanding of chronic pain. But more importantly, we may finally unlock the secret to treating this debilitating condition and improving the quality of life for millions of Australians and people worldwide.
Yeah, congratulations. So how far into your thesis?
I'm just about to start my third year.
Okay, so it gets interesting.
Here.
Congratulations, Jessica. All right, and now the moment you've been waiting for. This is first place. And the winner is Philippa. Improving doctor-patient communication in psychiatry and evaluation of a communication skills training program.
Imagine your life as you know it was interrupted by an episode of mental illness, which is the reality for 1 in 4 Australians. Imagine being brought into the emergency department and admitted to psychiatric hospital. It's likely that you and your loved ones would feel confused and scared. People and their families and carers have time and time again expressed a desire for more information, to know what the diagnosis is, what the treatment is going to be, and what the future might look like. And time again, they've reported dissatisfaction with their doctor's communication. We know from previous research that when doctors communicate effectively, patient outcomes on a whole range of measures are better. Despite talking and communication being important in psychiatry, it was astonishing to find very little happening in the way of specific communication skills training for these doctors. If modelling from senior peers is the only place doctors are learning skills, and these senior models have never been trained in communication skills training either, it's clear that some form of intervention is required to upskill our future psychiatrists and improve the culture of communication. So, I have evaluated an advanced experiential communication skills training program specifically developed for psychiatry. It's one thing to ask learners what they thought of the training and to objectively assess whether they perform skills better after training, which I did. But it's more difficult to check after a longer period of time in trainees' real-world clinical practice whether they continue to use those skills and ultimately whether patient outcomes are improved as a result of doctors using those skills. To overcome these hurdles, I followed doctors through 1 to 2 years of training to determine whether the training program was successful in the workplace. After training, doctors were more confident and able to critically evaluate their own performance, and many key skills increased after training and stayed that way a month or so later. More importantly, many key skills continued to be used in real-world clinical practice up to a year and a half later. Compared to other patients, patients treated by these specially trained doctors said that their treatment was better adjusted to their situation and they were more satisfied with their care. Effective communication can improve the lives of people who are at possibly the lowest moments they're ever going to experience. It can help them get control of their lives again by helping them establish a trusting clinical relationship, adhere to treatment, and have hope for their future. Thank you.
Surprise. $5,000 that'd be useful.
Yes.
Research. It sounds like it's almost done though.
Yes, it's with my supervisors for feedback.
Okay, got the photos?
Yep.
Get one in front of the lady. So you did something before you came to
I did a Bachelor of Psychology and then jumped ship and did my PhD. Because I work with psychiatrists.
So you're a doctor as well?
No, I'm not a doctor.
So
I'm
you're
a medical education.
Oh, medical. And now this. Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well done.
So congratulations to all of our winners in the finals, but also to everyone who's participated today. To get to the finals is no easy task, and we thank you so much for coming today, either in person or through the Zoom, and for being part of our audience. And we wish Philippa all the best as she goes to represent our university in our national competition. We'll talk about that later, Philippa. All right, thank you so much for coming, and for those who are here with us at the Callaghan campus, there will be refreshments, and the team will assist you with that. Thank you to our guests for coming, to the Vice-Chancellor and to our Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research and Innovation. It's been an absolute pleasure, and also Francis K. Lampkin, Professor, I should say, Francis K. Lampkin, for coming as well, our Pro-Vice-Chancellor Research and Innovation. It's been an absolute pleasure to have everyone here today, and we look forward to seeing what comes next. Thank you.
We believe in you, the challenger, the visionary, the scholar. We believe in the contribution you make to our community, to our daily lives. We believe in the power you have to change minds, to change how things are done, to even change the world. Because we strive for those things too. At Unibank, we're determined to deliver better, smarter financial solutions to the university community, its students, staff and graduates. We'll take care of your banking so you can take care of the future. Unibank, no more.